Hi, I'm Steve Light, and this is one of my story boxes. I have everything that I need to tell a story inside this box. Well, this story is from Africa, and it's called The Girl Who Loved Danger. It starts with a lake and a little girl. And this little girl, she loved dangerous things, and she lived in a village with her father and her mother and some villagers. Well, this little girl, she loved to do dangerous things. If her parents told her not to do something and it was dangerous, she would go and do it. They would say, don't tease the monkeys because they might throw sticks or bananas at you. But she would go and she would tease the monkeys, and the monkeys would throw sticks and she would run away, and it was so dangerous, she loved it. She was like so excited. Well, one day, one of the villagers came and he said, listen, do not go down to the lake because there is a monster that lives in the lake and it will surely try to gobble you up. And they said, okay. Well, the parents were very concerned because they knew that the little girl would be interested in going down to the lake because it sounded so dangerous. And they said, please promise us you'll try not to go down to the lake. She said, I'll try. But after a while, she just couldn't do it. And she said, oh, I just have to go down. I have to see what's down at that lake. It sounds so dangerous. A monster. Wow, it could gobble me up. Oh, this sounds so dangerous. I have to go do it. So she started down to the lake and she walked for a little bit. And as she was walking, she came upon the biggest bird she had ever seen with a red feather in its tail. And the bird was standing right in the middle of her path. And the bird spoke. And she said, I have never heard of a speaking bird before. And he said, I am your ancestor bird, and I am here to tell you, do not go down to the lake because it is dangerous and something bad will happen. She said, I know, but it sounds so dangerous. It sounds so exciting. I really want to go. And he said, well, if you're going to go, take a feather from my tail because maybe it'll come in handy later. And so she did. She took the feather from the bird's tail and she left the bird and she went down to the lake. Well, when she got to the lake, it was very quiet. And she looked around. She said, I don't see anything in this lake. I don't see any monster. I don't see anything. In fact, it's very quiet. She said, you know what? I think I should just walk around the lake just to make sure. Maybe it's on the other side. I don't know. So she started to walk around the lake. And she walked and she walked and she walked. And she walked and she walked and she walked. And she walked and she walked and she walked. And she walked and she walked. The monster came out of the lake and gobbled her up. And then the monster, after it gobbled her up, went back under the water. Well, after a little while, the mother and father, they were wondering where their daughter was. And they said, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? Oh, maybe we can ask one of the villagers to go down and see if he can find our daughter. I bet you she went down to the lake because it sounded so dangerous. And so they did. So they sent one of their friends, and the friend went down and he looked, but he didn't see the girl and he didn't see the beast or anything living in the lake. And he said, in fact, the lake is kind of quiet. He said, maybe I should walk around the lake though, just to make sure. I'm gonna walk around and see it. Maybe she's on the other side of the lake. So he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and and the beast came and gobbled him up. And then the beast went back under the water. Well, now, the mother and the father were missing their friend and their daughter. And they said, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? And they asked another friend to go down and see if he could find them. So he went down to the lake, and when he got there, it was very quiet. He didn't see anyone. He said, well, maybe they're all on the other side of the lake. He said, I better walk around the lake just to make sure. So he started, and he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and he walked and he walked. And he walked and he walked and he walked. And he gobbled him up too. And then it went back under the water. Well, now the mother and father, they were so concerned. No one had come back. And they didn't know where they were, and they were very worried about them. And they said, oh, you know what? We both should go down to the lake and make sure, because maybe they're down there. So they went down to the lake, and they looked, but it was very quiet. It was very calm. And they said, well, maybe they're on the other side of the lake. We should walk around the lake just to make sure. So they started, and they walked and they walked and they walked. And they walked and they walked and they walked. And they walked and they walked and they walked. And they walked and they walked. And he gobbled them up. And so now there was the mother and the father and the girl who loves danger and the two villagers all trapped inside the belly of the beast. And the girl was so upset now. She started to cry. She said, oh, I should have listened to you. I know, but it was so dangerous, and I didn't know what to do. And next time I'll listen to you, and I won't do these dangerous things. And I should have listened to the ancestor bird too. And she said, oh, wait a minute. The ancestor bird, he gave me the feather. what if I use the feather to tickle the beast? Maybe the beast will sneeze us out. And so that's what she did. She started to tickle the beast. Tickle, 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 tickle. And the beast started, and he sneezed out the father. And he sneezed out the mother. And he sneezed out the two villagers. And he sneezed out the girl who loved danger. And there they were. They were all on the edge of the lake. And they turned around and they looked at the beast. But now the beast had tasted what they tasted like. And he was very hungry and he wanted to eat more people. And the girl who loved danger, she said, oh my goodness, we can never go in the lake again because the beast is going to want to eat any people that go in there. What can we do? And she thought and she thought and she went and she gathered up some rocks. And she got the rocks and she painted them so that each one looked just like one of them. One for her, and one for one of the villagers, and one for the father, and one for the other villager, and one for the mother. And she put them right on the edge of the lake. And they all went into the forest and they hid and they waited. And now the beast, he thought that the rocks that were painted like people were actual people. And he went and he gobbled them up. And those rocks, they went into his tummy and they filled up his tummy so that he was never hungry ever again. And soon he became very tame and actually kind of peaceful. And after a while, they could actually swim in the lake and they could jump on him and slide down on him. And so he never wanted to eat people ever again. And they became great friends, and every day they would go down and they would swim with the beast in the lake, and he never ate anyone ever again. And the girl who loved danger always listened to her parents, and they lived happily ever after. The end.